Thank you to Julie and Jackie. You did a fantastic job. That's all I say. I have to ask these people, though, were the facts okay? They were okay? They were all true?
Yes.
Yeah, well, you didn't get any of Jim Wimmer stories. Or Bernie Johnson. But thank you. Okay, I need that crazy lady from Carefree. Where is she? Oh, here she comes. Look out. Look out. Woo-hoo. Hi, Phyllis.
Hi, Phyllis.
Okay, now bear with us here. Well, what can I say? You'll get the idea. That's all there is to say.
Hey, Diane. There's some pretty special guests here today, and I don't want to spread any rumors, but did you hear about Twyla Blakowiak?
No? What?
Well, Twyla wanted to look really special for the 40th anniversary at TCOM, but felt her body had gotten totally out of shape. So, she got her doctor's permission to join a fitness club and started exercising by taking an aerobics class for seniors. She bent, twisted, gyrated, jumped up and down, and perspired for an hour. But by the time she got her leotard on, the class was over.
That's nothing. Get this. John is an avid reader and just finished reading a new book entitled, You Can Be the Man in Your House. He stormed into the kitchen and announced to Twyla, from now on you need to know that I am the man of the house and my word is law. You will prepare me a gourmet meal tonight, and when I'm finished eating my meal, you will serve me some delicious dessert. After dinner, you'll have to draw me my bath so I can relax. You will wash my back, towel me dry, and bring me my robe. Then you will massage my feet and hands. Then tomorrow, guess who's going to dress me and comb my hair? Twyla replied, the funeral director would be my first guess.
Well, you know, John works so hard in the park, but I heard him the other day saying, it's just too hot to wear clothes today, as he stepped out of the shower. Honey, what do you think the neighbors would think if I mowed the lawn like this? Probably that I married you for your money, Twyla replied.
Okay, here's another funny story about Yvonne and Harold Costans. When Harold and Yvonne were considering buying into TCOM, they were disturbed to hear that half the people in TCOM had AIDS. Yes. They called all over the park to find out if this was true. Finally, the truth came out. Yes, over 50% of the residents have AIDS. Rolaids, Kool-Aids, Band-Aids, and hearing aids.
Well, I'm sure glad they got that one figured out, but here's something else they figured out too. When Yvonne and Harold got married and went on their honeymoon, Yvonne was a bit bashful. As they walked up to the hotel, Yvonne said, what can we do so they won't know we're newlyweds? Harold answered, you carry the luggage.
Say, Phyllis, did you know that Warren Weiss and Don Ross are really good friends?
Really? Well, how did they meet?
Well, let me tell you. When Don began going to the clubhouse at TCOM, he struck up an acquaintance with Warren. One day, Don said, Warren, I bet you can't guess how old I am. Bet I can, said Warren. How much you want to bet? I'll bet you $5, said Don. Okay, Warren said. Drop your pants and I'll tell you your age. Don objected, but finally dropped his drawers. Warren said, you're 85. That's amazing. How could you tell that, asked Don. Easy, Warren said. You told me yesterday.
Well, apparently they also like to golf together at TCOM. One day on the second hole, they drove over a little hill toward the green, And to their surprise, they found one ball in the cup and one 2 inches from the cup. Well, since they were both shooting Titleist balls, they didn't know who had the hole in one. So they called on Bernie, who was golfing nearby, to act as a referee. Bernie looked the situation over and finally inquired, "All right, which of you two was shooting the orange ball?"
Aren't grandkids special? And they say the funniest things. Jim and Donna Wimmer told me this story. Two of the grandchildren were visiting and asked, "How old are you?" Donna said, smiling, "I'm 80. "Wow, you don't look that old," the grandson said. Donna breathed a sigh of relief and smiled when the other grandchild chimed in, "Parts of her do."
Well, they also like to have a good time, so they invited some old friends to help celebrate their anniversary. Jim went out to buy a gift for Donna and saw some cute little music boxes. A blue one was playing the anniversary waltz. Thinking they were all the same, he picked up a red one and he asked the clerk to have it gift wrapped. When they sat down to dinner, Jim gave it to Donna and asked her to open it, and surprise, out came the tune. "The old gray mare, she ain't what she used to be."
Oh my. Oh my, getting old is not always fun. Just ask Dale and Ellie Berglund. Last month, Dale visited his doctor for a checkup. "Mr. Berglund, you're in great shape," said the doctor. "How do you do it?" "Well," said Dale, "I don't drink, I don't smoke, and the good Lord looks out for me. For weeks now, every time I go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, he turns the light on for me." Concerned, the doctor found Ellie in the waiting room and told her what her husband had said. "I don't think that's anything to worry about," she said. "And on the bright side, it does explain who's been peeing in the refrigerator."
About old age, Dale and Ellie's great-granddaughter was sitting on the couch with Dale and studying the wrinkles on his old face. She gets up the nerve to rub her fingers over the wrinkles. She touches her own face and looks more puzzled, and finally the girl asks, "Grandpa Dale, did God make you?" "He sure did, a long time ago," replied Dale. "Well, did God make me?" asked the great-granddaughter. "Yes, he did, and that wasn't too long ago." "Boy," says their great-granddaughter, "he's sure doing a lot better job these days, isn't he?"
Oh, sometimes it's fun to see the men doing laundry while the women are doing a jigsaw puzzle, okay? Last week, a housework-challenged husband by the name of Don Highlander decided to wash his sweatshirt. Seconds after he stepped into the laundry room, he shouted to Farrell, "What setting do I use on the washing machine?" "What does it say on your shirt, Don?" he answered. "Travelers Country Club on the Mississippi."
I'll bet you didn't know this. Farrell and Don got a parrot that used to belong to a sailor. The first thing they discovered when they got it home was that the bird swore something terrible. Farrell decided to teach the parrot a lesson by putting him in the deep freeze. 30 minutes later, she figured he'd probably had enough, so she opened the freezer door. There was the parrot, shivering and shaking. "Did you learn a lesson so you won't swear anymore?" demanded Farrell. "I sure as heck did," answered the parrot. "When I saw what you did to that turkey in there, I decided you meant business."
You know, Phyllis, everybody thinks that Bernie and Betty Johnson are such a sweet couple. But here's the real story. We know that everybody on earth dies and goes to heaven. So God comes and says, "I want the men to form two queues. One line for the men that dominated their women on earth, and the other line for the men who were dominated by their women. Also, I want all the women to go with St. Peter. The next time God looked, the women are gone, and there are two lines. The line for the men, God looked, the women are gone, and there are two lines. The line for the men, who were dominated by their women, was 100 miles long. And in the line of the men who dominated their women, there was only one man. God got mad and said, "You men should be ashamed of yourself. I created you in my image, and you were all whipped by your mates. Look at that. Only one of my sons who stood up and made me proud. Learn from him. Tell him, my son, how did you manage to be the only one in this line?" Bernie replied, "I don't know. Betty told me to stand here."
It sounds to me like Betty wears the pants in the family, and that can cause problems. A while back, Bernie and Betty's marriage was on the rocks. So when they heard about a marriage seminar being given in their neighborhood, they decided to attend. "One of the most important things in a marriage," said the speaker, "is to get to really know your spouse well. For example," continued the speaker, "how many of you know what is your wife's favorite type of flower?" Bernie leaned over to Betty and whispered, "It's gold medal all-purpose flour, isn't it?"
Oh, Bernie. Hey, Phyllis, did we forget somebody?
No, if you think that Susan Gustafson is getting away with it, she's not getting off that easy. I heard she was having a problem with her left ear, so she got an appointment with the ear specialist. The doctor was looking through his instrument into her ear when he said, "Sue, I don't know what to think of this. I'm looking into your ear and I think I see a suppository in there." "Ugh," exclaimed Sue. "Now I remember what I did with my hearing aid."
Oh, Sue, we are so sorry. Not really, it's all in fun. What can I say? Well, I hope you had fun at the expense of our guests. You know our president, Mr. Baudette, always wants to have the last word, but not today. The other day he called the office, and this is kind of how the conversation went. Phyllis will be Jim, and I will be me. What can I say?
"Hey, Diane, my keyboard is not working anymore."
Are you sure it's plugged into the computer?
"I can't get behind the computer."
Well, pick up your keyboard and walk 10 paces back.
"Okay."
Did the keyboard come with you?
"Yes."
That means the keyboard is not plugged in. Hello, this is Diane. How may I help you?
"This is Jim, and I'm writing my first email."
Okay, and what seems to be the problem, Jim?
"Well, I have the letter A in the address, but how do I get the little circle around it?"
Oh, Jim got it back there. Hi again, this is Diane. What is it now, Jim?
"I can't get on the internet."
Are you sure you used the right password?
"Yes, I'm sure. I saw my son Sean do it."
Well, can you tell me what password he used?
"Yes, it was 5 dots."
Oh, way over the head. Okay. Dot. Okay. Okay. This one. That one. Okay. You guys, thank you for taking this so lightly. I shouldn't say taking it lightly. Did you really have a choice? What can I say? Okay, just a couple more things and I'm going to let you go. But I want to thank everybody for participating in this today. And I want to point out a couple things. If you look behind you, some of you have, some of you haven't. There's a beautiful quilt up there that was put together by Farrell and her quilting group. And that will be placed up at the up at the clubhouse, and it'll be hanging over the fireplace after today. And also, she's got some beautiful pictures on there. And also over here, where you guys are sitting, there's a shadow box that Rick Hoet made for us, and it's got Bernie's jacket in it. Bernie, don't try to get your jacket out, okay? But do take a look at those, and that too will be placed up in the clubhouse. On behalf of everybody in the park, I just want to take a minute to thank Teresa Oberlo and her committees. And I know we thanked you earlier, but you've spent hours and hours on this. You're all rock stars, what can I say? Thank you so much. Teresa, where are you? Is she hiding? Well, Teresa's probably hiding, but that's okay. We're going to thank her anyway. As you know, dinner is at 4:30, and we would like you to have some refreshments outside once I let you go, and go outside and mingle. You've got a few minutes before you can come back in here because we have to set up tables. And when you come back in, all of the honorees, please come through those double doors, and we'll come out and get you, but I mean, we'll direct you, but come out those double doors, and everyone else is going to enter over here, okay, by the playground, just as a reminder. And another reminder for you is, I know that not just the honorees, but other people too have special guests here today. Kind of know, hey, I have 5 in my party, I have 10, I have 2, so that we can set you appropriately, okay? I thank you all for coming today, and at this time I would like Gordy Alex to please come forward. Gordy, where are you? Here he is. He's going to lead us in a prayer.
Hey everybody. Wow, what a celebration. We've come a long ways, baby, huh? Wow. Gail and I, when we first came to the park, we were looking all over the place for another residence, and everything that I liked, she didn't like. What it's like never forget it. Everything that, and vice versa, was like, no way, and I just, we came here, Jenny Ray told us about the park here, and we came in. Okay, and we came into the park, and both of us looked at each other. My gosh, we just loved it. And we've been here for 5 years now, and we're so grateful for the park and all of the activities and everything that goes on here, just the greatest. But anyhow, we want to thank. We're thankful for to be a part of the family at TCOM. We need to be thankful for what we have. TCOM, for our families, for our husbands, our wives. How important! My goodness, what you appreciate appreciates. And I think that's a wonderful saying that we need to keep in mind. I'm thankful, and there's that word again. We want to. That's what's on my heart as we were putting together our prayer. I'm thankful. We honor, that we honor God like this. What a wonderful park that we have that honors God this way. Inviting Him into our affairs. It's good. It's wise.